Yes, the Sixers made a championship move. They just hired one of the smartest basketball minds to run their franchise. Philly finally fired everyone who got them in this mess. Oh, Elton Brand is still the GM, but he's got no power. Now Daryl Morey has to fix Philly. And good luck. Brand made some horrific moves that set this franchise back for years. They aren't cohesive on the court, but they do have hope. This video reacts to Daryl Morey's hire and explains exactly what he needs to do. Hey, it's Casey. Welcome to AM Hoops. Hit subscribe and notification bells for 5 videos per week, just like this one, when we have breaking news that Daryl Morey is going to run the Sixers. This is huge. The Rockets were idiots not to beg him to stay, but we'll get to that in a bit. Hit me up on Twitter at Casey Kiernan or over on IG at AM Hoops. Yes, it was a horrible move for the Rockets to let Daryl Morey go in the first place. They had no business being a relevant franchise the past few years, but because of him, they were. Houston is not LA or Miami, but they have had so many stars. James Harden, Dwight Howard, Chris Paul, Carmelo Anthony, and Russell Westbrook, all because of this dude. Now this dude, Tillman Fertitta, is becoming one of the worst owners in sports. We all know he let Daryl Morey go because of the China tweet mostly. That's not even a basketball-related decision. But this is a Sixers video, and we have to explain the mess that they are in. I gave up on Elton Brand a long time ago. This was a long time coming. The Sixers hired him with no NBA GM experience, and he made some decent moves at first, traded for Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris. Then he proceeded to torch the franchise. He let Jimmy Butler and JJ Redick go. He paid Tobias Harris a max contract that's viewed as one of the worst in the NBA today. Then he paid Al Horford $100 million. That deal set the franchise back for years. No one else was going to pay him that much. The Sixers need shooters anyway. You spend cap space on people to spread the floor, not to back up the best center in the league. So to recap, this team has chemistry issues and roster problems with no way to fix it because they have bad contracts and no cap space. But that is why Sixers fans are so excited, because Daryl Morey sees what other people don't. This is the guy that somehow got OKC to trade James Harden to him for 2 first-round picks and some role players. He flipped CP3 for Westbrook when it looked like Chris Paul was untradeable. It also means there might be a way to get Harden to Philadelphia. Those rumors sparked originally when Mike D'Antoni was a head coach candidate. They ended up hiring Doc Rivers, but getting Harden's old front office guy is even better than his old coach. This is how much Daryl Morey loves James Harden. He took out a full-page ad in the Houston newspaper to thank the city, but mostly to thank James Harden. Look at that in bold. James Harden changed my life. These two have nothing but respect for each other, and reports said the Sixers were already interested in the beard. So Daryl Morey is going to get to Philly, sink his teeth into how to fix this team. The goal, of course, is to win a championship, and they do have building blocks. Bottom line, there were 2 guys I said would be out of work for like 2 seconds, and that's Doc Rivers and Daryl Morey. They're both really smart and talented. Their old team should have never let them go, but they chose the Sixers because they've got 2 all-stars in their prime, which is impossible to find, and a lot of future draft picks. So here are the 4 things on Morey's to-do list. Number 1, move the Horford contract. Again, this thing is weighing down their cap space. No one wants a 34-year-old Horford making a ton of money, so Philly's going to have to give something valuable up to trade him. I think they will need to trade a young player or a draft pick to get rid of Al. Morey has to do this deal without giving up one of their core young pieces. So the Al Horford trade is Horford and Matisse Thybulle for Reggie Bullock and Wayne Ellington. A report just came out that said the Knicks will take on bad contracts for good young players. This is right up their alley. Thybulle is the best young defender in the league. He'll really contribute too with a better jump shot as he gets more years under his belt. Al Horford is a veteran to help out that locker room. And look, if you've got Horford and Tom Thibodeau, you've got a culture. The Sixers do this because Wayne Ellington is still an above-average shooter. Bullock's got his moments. They are on one-year deals, so that cap space opens up after next year. Now on to step 2, adding even more shooters. The Sixers need to surround Ben Simmons with shooters, we know that. The Knicks deal helped, but there is a big move they can make for Buddy Hield, trading cap filler, Josh Richardson, and 2 first-round picks. Hield is an elite shooter. He hit 40% last season and above 40% in each of the last 3 years before that. He's just 2% worse than Steph Curry from downtown. And things are bad in Sacramento. Buddy isn't even returning Luke Walton's texts. It's time to move on, and a good player in Jay Rich and 2 firsts would do it. Now, step 3, and that is trading for James Harden. Harden won't be cheap, obviously. Yes, he's on the wrong side of 30, but he is a perennial scoring champion, an MVP not long ago, still in his late prime. So, I think along with draft picks, the Sixers would have to give up either Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid, and I would keep Ben. LeBron James ages like a fine wine. Embiid will age like rotten cheese. Dude is already injury prone and hardly stays in shape. Ben, on the other hand, is 2 years younger and would be a good fit with Harden. The trade here, Embiid, Furkan Korkmaz, and 2 firsts for Harden. Now this works money-wise if the Al Horford trade went down. If not, you'd have to swap Jay Rich. Granted, the Rockets would have to really believe in Embiid for this to go down, but a recent report says they do. Houston continues to be competitive with Embiid in this trade. He is a downgrade from Harden, but he is 5 years younger and makes about $20 million less per year. This extends the Rockets' timeline. They could get creative building around Embiid and replenish some of those draft picks. The 4th and final step is to sign a center. Embiid and Horford are gone in this plan. They don't have a lot of money or trade assets. In free agency, the options are Derek Favors, JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard, Marc Gasol, Aaron Baines, or Hassan Whiteside. I think they should go with Gasol. The Raptors are probably going to bring back Serge Ibaka. Philly can pay Mark more than Toronto. The Sixers can give him about that $6 million with their mid-level exception. Gasol has championship experience. He will be a leader in that locker room, which both Harden and Simmons don't have a track record for. With this plan, Daryl Morey would completely gut the Sixers' draft capital, but that's his style. In Houston, he always gave away draft picks for win-now veterans. If this plan went down, the Sixers starters, Harden, Hield, Harris, Simmons, and Gasol. That would beat the Miami Heat, the Milwaukee Bucks, and possibly the Nets. Yes, that is a wild plan, but Daryl Morey has a wild track record. At the very least, Sixers fans should have hope for the next 5 years, now with Daryl Morey and Doc Rivers in charge. Support AM Hoops and click subscribe. Don't miss a daily NBA video.